All right. Please find a comfortable seat as we posture. Doesn't have to be a seat. It could be a posture so that we can enjoy some stillness. And it's meditation. It's such a funny word, and it just means so much. I don't even know if that's really what we're doing. Like, I don't really know what you're doing when you're sitting. I know what I'm saying, but after it comes out of my mouth. But sitting it's about allowing this unraveling to happen. We have these currents that move through us and they move us. These currents, they dictate some of its responsibilities, some of its interests, some of it's circumstantial, the things that sort of animate our day, animate our life. We call this karma. I call it karma. And at some point, our karma starts to, I think, just as like a gift, a bud, a fruiting, a seeding of our karma. Hey, Carter, welcome. Just got started. Karma, this thing sort of bursts in us where it's like, I'm not sure there's anything out there that's really gonna make me happy. We've got all this current that gets us interacting with the world, whether it's a sense of responsibility or because it's fun or because we think it's going to bring us pleasure. Maybe we're trying to avoid some pain. Maybe we're animating ourselves because we're seeking security. And as we start to go after these things, we maybe start to realize, hey, these things that I'm chasing after, they're gonna provide something, but they're not gonna provide something that lasts, a lasting peace or a lasting happiness. And I don't know how we get interested in that. I don't know how that dawns in a human consciousness, but for some reason it does. And I think it practiced together, it's because it's dawned in you a little bit. Now, some things you do go out into the world to get them for certain things, but we don't want more from them than they can actually provide or offer. And so when we sit still, we sit quietly or lay, we're sort of giving recognition to that and trying to understand it. We're trying to understand how there's this motivation or force within us to not always be reaching out for something. And we already know how to do that in deep sleep. We don't reach out for things in deep sleep, unless you're one of like this person who flails at night. Smack the person next to you. And we like it when we don't reach out. When we sleep well, we think, oh, I slept well because we didn't reach for anything. We rested inside of ourselves. And so that's what we're doing. We are resting inside of ourselves in the waking state as well. This is the waking state. Now, for some of us, it's not just so easy. You can't just start resting in the waking state. And that's what the practice is. Practice is, oh, I'm going to be still as I can. I don't want to hurt myself. Be still. And I'm going to let these urges to reach out to get something to make me feel better. I'm going to check in with those. I'm going to almost resist them or reject them for the time being. Some things I might just go out and get, but I may be seeking things that the external world can't provide me. And that's what this is about. We don't have to call it meditation. We can call it recognizing that what we want, the external world can't provide. As a matter of fact, it doesn't need to be provided. We want it, and we can immediately have this want met through recognizing, through recognition. And so, this time, this practice is investigating if that might be true. If there's a deep peace, the splendor of living, the joy of living without having to reach out into the world to get. Doesn't mean you have to stop reaching out. But for a time, to uncover and get in touch with this presence, this whatever, we're going to be still, see what is there already. Almost like we're rejecting work or effort, or rejecting doership. Noticing what is in the wake. Try to feel anything that comes up in your attention. Those are the urges, those are the drives. They're thoughts, and they're usually asking us to think a certain way, be a certain way, do a certain thing. And every time that sort of comes up, we realize, oh yeah, there's another thought. It's got some kind of urge or drive. It's seeking something from the external world. Could just be trying to not be bored. I am seeking to not be bored. I will tell myself stories. Let's just take a few more moments, recognizing that as these thoughts come up, these thoughts are entwined with the drive or urge to go out some way, shape, or form into life, craving of some kind. Even if it's just, I'm craving to be a nicer person. Even if it's I'm craving to be a quieter person. The stillness of body, on some level, is symbolic. It represents the stillness of your awareness, stillness of your attention. That attention is still, and everything is passing through it. The sound of these words, any sensations in the body, any thoughts in the mind, they pass through the attention. The attention itself does not move, it stays. The attention does not do, it just attends to whatever passes through. It's a gift in your karma to be able to appreciate, to comprehend, to examine, to understand this attention, to feel its motionlessness, feel its steadiness, unchangingness. Give attention to attention. You may only get a moment, a glimmer of the light of attention. It'll peek its way through all those urges, desires, cravings that take the form of thoughts. If you try to catch it, it'll be gone again. just kind of get willing to endure, willing to endure the churning of the cravings, desires, urges that take the form of thought. You'll get a little gap here and there. Eventually, as you notice the gap, that's it. You just give attention to that gap in space. It will grow. It'll appear more readily. All we're doing is growing familiar, with the ease of being, space behind or between thoughts. No need to rush it, no need to force it, no need to try and make it happen. It's just karma. Time is right when the time is right. You wouldn't be here if the time was not ripening for you. I do not know why it happens. Just notice that it's happening. There is space, gaps, and eventually chasms in between and around your thoughts. Be attentive. It's what you are. If you can catch a thought, you can catch a single thought, you can ask yourself, what was the desire or urge that motivates that thought, that imagination? And if you feel into it, it's like you drop down into its root, and there you can find a pause, a gap, the origin. Not every mind is ready. It's hard to hold a thought and go into it. But for some of you, you maybe can. Next time you can catch one thought, and then you ask yourself, what is the desire or urge that motivates it? It might not even really be true for you. It's just wandering around. But if you go into it, you'll go beyond it. It's not important that you unravel or understand why. Just realize there's an underlying root desire, urge around every thought. Underneath it, it may or may not be true for you, but the thought was there. out in your attention, you can follow it back to its root. True or not, you can feel that underlying motivation. You'll find this quiet gap surrounding the root. Then you get to choose what to identify with. Entertain this root desire, insecurity, fear, hunger, or identify with this nest of peace and emptiness surrounding it. If you find you're having too many thoughts to appreciate the underlying drives of just a single one, no matter. Just keep sitting still. The gaps will appear in time. Attention is inescapable. Let it grow bright, beaming bright, and razor sharp. Attention is inescapable. It's what you are. Look away from the thoughts. Look away from the motivations of your thoughts. Pay attention to attention. Look right into it. See it for what it is. It is not a thought. Recognize attentiveness. Feel into it. You don't have to do anything. Attention absorbs itself once it finds itself. Attention absorbs itself once it finds itself. Pay attention to attention. Relax from the practice.